So today I'm going to use the Lavish Adorned Octagon set to make my easel card. Now you could make the entire easel card using just this set because you've got some fantastic outer shapes to use. However, I want a little bit of extra design, so I've also got underneath my stitched octagons. So I'm going to use the stitched octagons to make my base and my Lavish Adorned to decorate. I've also got the industrial chic butterfly and the sending expression die, so mini expression die, which goes really nicely with the big ideas sentiments. As you can see, the word sending is here, and you've got sending you happiness, sending a heart full of hugs and kisses, warm thoughts, so you can mix and match. My decoration pieces are going to be made using this as my largest one, so this would be my outer. So what I'm going to do first is figure out which of my stitched octagons is going to be slightly bigger, and it's this one, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 8th one in. So I've got my scoreboard ready, and I've got a piece of cardboard cut just to the width of the octagon and more than twice as long. Now this doesn't have to be exact, but what I'm going to do is find a place and score just shy of the octagon's cutting edge. I'm going to fold it. Now this is linen card, so I want the linen on the outside. Now I'm going to tape my octagon just so it's not coming over that edge, but also I'm not going to be cutting here. I want to join. Okay, so I'm just going to go and cut that out. So I've sent this now through my machine. It took quite a few times because I've got quite thick cardstock. If it doesn't cut straight through the first time, don't worry, because you can always just cut it out, trim it down, because it's only the top one you're going to see. The other one will be hidden behind your easel mechanism. So whilst I was cutting that out, I also cut out one complete octagon too. Right, I'm going to open this up. Now my top one looks really nice and crisp. My bottom one, you can see the stitching nicely on that side, but this is the bit that's going to be hidden anyway. So I'm going to be working on my hidden side, the messier side if you want. I'm going to put it up against the side. Now my octagon was about 5 inches. So half of 5, 2.5. I'm just going to do a score line down here. So whatever shape you've got, halve it. Doesn't have to be exact, just about half. Fold it over. Score. You can see mine's not exactly in half. It doesn't matter. That's all you want is the hinge. So now I'm just going to get rid of my scoreboard. Bring in my double-sided tape. And I'm going to stick my octagon onto my mechanism. Now make sure you don't take your adhesive beyond that score line, otherwise it won't open. So now I'm going to attach my octagon piece to there. So remember I said earlier to make sure your nice piece was to the right. That's because that's the piece that's going to be seen. And there we are. It's as easy as that. And it can be done with any shape, a square, even circles, the fancy shapes Sue does. So that's the base done. Now we're just going to decorate it. So I'm going to get my Lavish Adorned and be right back. So I've got my Lavish Adorned back. Now, as I said earlier, this is going to be my main piece. So I'm not actually using any of these for this card. So I'm going to get rid of them out of the way for a second. Now, here's my base. As you can see, this octagon is going to be slightly smaller, so I'm still going to see that lovely stitch detail. So I'm going to cut 2 of these from white, 1 for the top, and 1 for the base. This will just add some extra strength too. So now that I've cut 2 of these, I'm going to cut the decorative pieces out of both. And whilst I'm at it, I'm also going to cut 1 of these full octagons and tape the decorative piece in the middle and cut that too. So I'll be right back. So now I've cut 2 of the big octagons with the decorative inside. I've cut 2 of the smaller ones, which fit nicely inside, with the decorative bit. Now I've also cut a plain octagon, which is exactly the same size, which is going to go behind there, which is going to be my stopper for my easel. Now while I was at it, I also cut 2 of the industrial chic butterflies out of the white. So here I've got a piece of wisteria cardstock, which is like really light purpley lilac-y colour, which will just set off nicely against the white. So out of this now, I'm going to cut a backing for each of my big octagons and 1 of my small octagons. And I'll also cut an extra butterfly and 1 of the sending. Okay, so I'll be right back. So here we are with all the wisteria pieces cut out. As you can see, I've got 1 butterfly, a backing for the big octagon, a backing for the big octagon, my sending sentiment, a backing for 1 of the small octagons, but this small octagon I'm going to leave as it is because I've already got the white one for that one. Okay, so now it's just a case of gluing these together. Now I simply go around the edge . And you've got these tiny little filigree bits. I'm just going to glue them down as well so they don't catch. And some across the middle. I'll just bring my glue tack in. Now this one, I'm going to attach to the top of my easel. As you can see, it'll fit perfectly in, leaving the nice stitched edge. So now for my top, I'm just going to glue the smaller octagon watch that glue onto the wisteria. down. Now for this, I want a bit of dimension, so I'm actually going to use some 3D foam. Just cut it shorter. I'm going to attach this to the center of my easel. As you can see, it's coming along nicely. So now I've got my 2 butterflies from earlier. I'm going to stick them onto, well, behind my wisteria. Now I'm not going to fiddle with the antennae, so I'm just going to cut them off. So I'm putting a white onto the white, cutting off the antennae, keeping the wisteria intact, and just down the center of the body. And we've got a 3D butterfly with these extra bits behind. Now you could just do 2 if you don't want it as full as this one. A bit of glue on the back, and just glue it to the top of my easel. It's got quite a lot of dimension there now. So now we're going to work on the base. Now to make the base, I'm going to do exactly the same. Glue this big white one around the edge. Couple on these little bits. And around the center. A stray bit. So I'm just going to line it up. Now with this decorative bit, you don't want it to cross that center fold line. Luckily, it's not here. If it is, just trim it off. So if you've gone off a little bit, like I'm just a tiny bit up there, I'm just going to hide that up the back. Okay. So that is the back done. Now I'm going to stick this one, this time, onto the white. Let's get my pin. The little piece still hasn't been poked out. Here we are. And now, before I stick this down, I'm actually going to stamp the sentiment on. So I'm just going to grab my very dirty stamping platform. I'm going to put my octagon up in the top corner. Now the word sending is going to go across the top like that. So I'm going to choose a sentiment. I think I'm going to go with hugs and kisses. Make sure it's the right way round. I'm going to line it up. And I'm going to stamp it there we are. So let's wait for my ink to dry. Move my platform out the way for now. So before I started, I actually cut 2 of the sendings out of the white, and I've glued them together just to give some extra height, because you would never get any foam tape on the back of them. I'm going to add some more glue to my sending out of wisteria, and I'm going to stick it on with just a little drop shadow. You won't see the white much, it'll be quite subtle. This is probably the fiddliest bit of the entire card. And I'm just going to glue this now onto that base I made with the white octagons. And there we have our sending hugs and kisses octagon. Now we don't want to glue this flat, and we don't want to glue it there because our easel will be too tall. So I'm actually going to bring it down to here. Some more 3D foam on the back. Take it off. So you could use anything as your stopper, a flower, a sentiment bar, anything you want. So I'm just going to bring it down, line it up, and that is the stopper. So it depends what you're looking for. If you want a smaller stopper, go for it and it'll just come down more. A small stopper in the middle, up to you. Have a play. But there we are. Hopefully that explains the easel method nice and easy. Thanks for stopping by again.